Subscribe to Teckoh on YouTube or you will forever be a bot at Fortnite.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'll be showing you all 5 box fighting tips that you should start using to win more fights in Fortnite. And one quick thing before we start, guys, I'm beginning to post on both TikTok and Instagram with tips and tricks content just like you see in these videos. So if you're interested in either of those, feel free to check them out. The Instagram is @Teckoh and the TikTok is @TeckohYT, or you can find them both in the description. I would appreciate it if you guys could go check those out and show some support. And with that said, let's hop into the first tip. Alright guys, so moving into our first technique here in creative, this is what I like to call the piece control swing. The piece control swing is pretty much a defensive technique that I like to use when somebody's pushing my box sort of on this angle. You can see he's kind of on the left side of my box here on this right hand peak, and he's doing pretty good for himself. This is something that a lot of good players are going to do. They're going to be trying to push your box from their left side, kind of like this, try to get piece control on you and kill you that way. So the technique we'll be doing here is one that you can use to counter this situation. So essentially what we're doing here is we're going to be swinging around to the side. So doing it slowly, it's going to look like this. We'll edit out of our box. Then we're immediately going to block them off with a wall. And then from there, you can do any form of piece control you want. So my personal favorite is just to go in here and then place a cone, wall, and this basically boxes them in completely and they can't really do anything because the cone. Another option when you're doing the swing is to basically do a mongrel classic and box them in like that. But overall, this is just a great way to basically cover yourself and get some piece control on your opponent and sort of turn the tides of the fight. As well as that, you can also do this if somebody's pushing on the left side. You can just go like this, block them off, and then box them in. And then obviously do the same technique. You can really do it on a bunch of angles, and you can kind of scale this into multiple situations. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. One thing that I do recommend doing in order to practice this is to basically head into your own blank creative world, kind of like this, and ultimately just box up and then do the same exact play. So this sort of swing play, do it to one side, do it to another side, and basically just do it over and over again. So all you really have to do to practice this is just go into your own world and do it like that. Alrighty guys, so moving on to our second technique in this video. This is a technique that you're going to be using when your opponent is above your box. So when somebody's pushing you, the majority of the time they're kind of just going to be in a situation like this, assuming they're above your box. They'll obviously be pickaxing at your cone, trying to take your cone, trying to take your floor, maybe do a little trick like that. So what I'm showing you guys here is not only like a trick play, but sort of like a counter to anybody who's pushing that way. Essentially, all we're doing here is he's going to be above our box and we're going to edit out on him. But the thing is, if we just edit out like this, a lot of players are just going to have their shotgun out and pre-fire us. So instead of that, what we're going to do is edit up and we're going to place a wall in front of him. And what that does is the majority of the time it absorbs the shot and it gives us piece control on him and sort of allows us to play with him a little bit, kind of put ourselves in a better situation. And essentially from there, after we build this wall, we're just going to edit through, and you can either edit up straight and kind of just shoot them, or another option you have is to try and get cones like that. But with that said, yeah, obviously the cone is optional, and from there you just have more piece control, you have more cover, you can kind of play around your edit. And yeah, there you go. Another option you have if you make this kind of play right here is to simply build up. Obviously, your opponent's going to be kind of blocked off and they're going to be a tiny bit confused. So now might be a good time to just start cranking up, grab height in the fight, and obviously go and dominate them. So in full speed, the technique is going to look something like this. Anyway, moving on to our third technique, guys. I call this direction blocking. There's obviously multiple terms for it, but that's just what I like to call it. And essentially, this is sort of like a box fighting strategy that people use that I see a lot of pros using. I wouldn't necessarily call it a secret strategy, but it's a very sort of advanced way to box fight, and it's a way to stay 2 steps ahead of your opponent at all times. Essentially, what direction blocking consists of is blocking off multiple sides to your opponent to start. So say I'll just block off this side and this side right here. So from here, if you're looking from my opponent's perspective, alright, so I rebuilt my opponent's perspective pretty much right here. I'm out there on that ramp, and he's sort of in this situation right here. There's all of this stuff is mine, so if I go out this way, I know that I'm basically just going to get edited on, piece controlled, box like a fish, and my game is going to end right there.
Oh, box like fish?
So if I'm being pushed from this direction, chances are that I'm not going to go and do this. Instead, what I'll probably do is, say he takes my wall, what I'll probably do is edit out to this side, try to box up again and try to go for a play. So knowing that, what I'll do from here is I'll put pressure on him, and when he has to exit his box, which he'll do from obviously that side because there's nothing on it, I'll go for a piece control play right there. So now I have all this piece control on him, and he doesn't really have anywhere he can go, so it's sort of just a free kill for me. Alright guys, so moving into our fourth technique in this list. This is basically a technique I've shown before on the channel, but one that I still don't see pretty much anyone using except pros. So I really wanted to get in here and kind of just show you guys how to do it. This technique is honestly one of the simplest techniques, but it's pretty difficult to pull off consistently. Essentially, what we'll be doing is our opponent is going to be pickaxing our wall or pressuring our wall, and this is what we're going to do. As you can see right there, what I basically did was I timed my shot for the exact instant that he broke my wall. So he's sitting there pickaxing my wall, and the second he breaks it, I'm there with my pump shotgun ready to basically blast him in the face. Honestly, there's really not that much to this technique. That's pretty much it. I'll show you guys once again. Just like that. So obviously it's pretty difficult to pull off. It does require quite a bit of timing, and especially if you're on lower FPS, it's still possible, but it's a lot more difficult. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Essentially, the second they break it, you time your shot, and you can also try to get the wall when you shoot at them. You won't get it consistently every time, so the majority of the time you're going to get your shot off and you'll want to either disengage, kind of like go box behind like that, or obviously if you get the kill, then well, you killed them. But with that said, this technique is honestly super OP and is definitely worth learning, so I recommend trying it out. Anyway, moving into our final technique. Now this is actually not a technique, but instead a way to actually practice. I wanted to include this in a box fight video because, well, honestly, I'm not sure if I have any videos coming up that really fit this other than box fighting, so I really wanted to just show you guys this awesome map. With that said, I'll put the code up to this map on screen right now. It's Raiders Piece Control Practice Map. So once you load up into this map, you're going to be greeted with this. Obviously, it's pretty complicated, but in essence, it's basically a map that has a ton of piece control drills. So when you load in right here, you're going to have access to a few weapons. Usually I just grab an AR and shotgun. So I'm going to try to guide you guys through this really fast. But essentially, the first thing we have is wall replace / Mongrel Classic. Obviously, as you may expect, boom, Mongrel Classic, boom. This is also a great way to practice the swing technique we talked about earlier. Basically going out to the side. I messed up. Basically going out to the side, doing your swing technique just like that. There we go, just like that. But essentially the rest of this map is basically just normal piece control stuff. So if you're wondering if you want to teleport to any of these drills in particular, you can really just shoot their little blue thing. If you want to get instructions for them individually, say I want to practice on this one or know what it is, then I basically just shoot the number, fully box up the bot, edit out to the side, re-edit the wall, and then shoot. So something like this. If you want to look at the first drill, then it's build and edit a wall in front of the stair, build walls in a cone around the bot, and shoot. So I'm thinking it'll look something like this. But yeah, as you can see, there's a ton of different drills, and it's honestly a really cool map. So once again, if you want to try this map out, I'll put the code up on screen one more time. I'm not going to go through every single drill, obviously, because there's 14 of them plus that one, so there's quite a bit to go over, but I strongly recommend trying them out. Once again, you can just click on these or shoot at these, and you'll see all the instructions. And yeah, there you go. So that's Raiders Piece Control map. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for these 5 tips. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and these tips help you to start winning more box fights. In this video, I really focused on showing techniques and tips that actually work and not just stuff that looks fancy. So honestly, if you take the time to practice and learn these, they should be super helpful. As I said at the start of the video as well, I'm starting to put up more tips and tricks content on both TikTok and Instagram. So once again, feel free to check those out if you want to see even more content. But with that said, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.